It was a quiet evening on Earth, the kind where the sky was a blend of orange and purple as the sun dipped below the horizon. People were going about their usual business, unaware of the catastrophe that was about to unfold. The streets were bustling with the usual crowds, and the cities, which were lit up with glowing lights, seemed peaceful. But this tranquility was about to be shattered. No one could have predicted what was coming. Suddenly, the calm was broken. From every corner of the Earth, the sky darkened. Alien ships, sleek and menacing, appeared out of nowhere, blocking out the sun. These ships, unlike anything humans had ever seen, were gigantic and covered in strange, glowing symbols. The aliens who piloted them were infamous for their advanced technology, their ability to conquer planets, and their ruthlessness. Earth had no defense against such an invasion, or so it seemed. As these massive ships hovered above major cities, a chilling broadcast echoed across every communication channel. It was the voice of the alien commander, cold and demanding. "We come not just for your resources, but to take your world. You, humans, are weak, and your planet will belong to us. Resistance is futile." The world froze in fear as the news spread. Governments scrambled, military leaders rushed to respond, but they knew they were outmatched. The aliens had technology so far beyond Earth's that no one even knew where to begin. Earth's best defense systems, the advanced AI systems and high-tech satellites, were suddenly disabled, their signals going dark one by one. It felt as if the world's most powerful technology had been rendered useless in the blink of an eye. The aliens had already taken control of the skies, and Earth seemed helpless. But as the aliens began their full-scale assault, launching devastating waves of energy blasts that tore through buildings and sent entire cities into chaos, something unexpected happened. Earth wasn't giving up without a fight. The resistance began, not in the form of giant armies or advanced weaponry, but from something more surprising. Humans, despite being technologically inferior, began to fight back with a strength and determination that the aliens didn't see coming. The first signs of this resistance came when Captain Bonner, a seasoned military strategist, and his small team of elite soldiers launched a covert operation. They infiltrated one of the alien motherships, using an old human invention, a homemade hacking device, to disrupt the alien systems. This device wasn't much by modern standards, but it was built with a clever twist. It was designed to exploit weaknesses in alien technology, exploiting the fact that the invaders had underestimated humanity's ingenuity. As Bonner and his team hacked into the mothership systems, they faced overwhelming odds. The alien forces were highly trained, their ships armored and armed with devastating weapons. But humans, desperate and driven by the instinct to survive, fought with a raw, untapped energy. They didn't back down. Every inch of progress they made was fought for with their lives. The aliens had never experienced such resistance before, and it left them stunned. Captain Bonner, though, wasn't just any soldier. He was a man who had spent his life preparing for moments like these, moments when the world would need someone to lead them out of the darkness. He knew the risks, but he also knew that this was humanity's chance to prove that they would not be conquered. As the battle inside the alien mothership raged on, the tension grew. Outside, the alien ships continued their bombardment of Earth's cities, but within the heart of the mothership, Bonner and his team were making a breakthrough. They had gained control of one of the alien ship's systems. It was small, but it was a victory. For the first time, the aliens realized that humans were more than just a primitive species, they were fighters. The aliens had been so sure of their superiority, so confident in their advanced technology, but now they saw something different. Humanity was not weak. In fact, they were beginning to fight with the very ingenuity that made them unique. But this was just the beginning. The aliens quickly retaliated, sending reinforcements to crush Bonner's team. The small victory inside the mothership quickly turned into a race for survival. As Bonner and his team struggled to hold their ground, the rest of the world watched, holding its breath. Would humanity's resistance be enough? Or would the alien superior technology wipe them out? In a desperate move, Bonner transmitted the hacked data to Earth's remaining defense systems, giving them a small chance to fight back. For the first time, Earth's weapons systems began to respond, targeting the alien ships that were decimating cities. But the battle was far from over, and the aliens were quick to retaliate. They had underestimated the humans, but now they were furious. The battle had only just begun, and humans were now fighting with everything they had, determined not to be slaves to an alien empire. But the aliens, now aware of humanity's hidden strength, were not going to give up easily. They had only just begun to unleash their true power. This opening chapter sets the stage for the struggle between humans and aliens. It introduces the audience to the tension and high stakes of the invasion while hinting at the untapped potential of humanity. As the story unfolds, the intensity of the conflict will only grow, and the fate of Earth hangs in the balance. Would the humans be able to use their resilience and creativity to defeat a seemingly unbeatable foe? Only time would tell. The world was a battlefield now. Cities were crumbling under the force of the alien ships, and the air was thick with smoke and dust. For the first time in history, humanity was facing extinction. The alien invaders had come with unmatched technology, and Earth's finest AI systems, weapons, and military forces had already been disabled. It seemed like Earth's fight for survival was over. Yet, amidst the chaos, something extraordinary was happening, something the aliens had failed to predict. Humanity was not just fighting to survive, they were fighting to prove that they would never bow to an enemy. The aliens had underestimated the human spirit. They believed that Earth's resistance was weak and disorganized. They thought humans were nothing more than a primitive species, easily crushed by their superior technology. But they were wrong. Deep inside Earth's underground bunkers, in secret laboratories hidden from alien eyes, a team of scientists, engineers, and military strategists worked tirelessly, their every thought focused on one goal: to give humanity a fighting chance. Among them was Dr. Zara, a brilliant scientist known for her work in quantum computing. She had seen the devastation firsthand. Her hometown, a once thriving city, was now a pile of rubble, destroyed in an alien airstrike. But Dr. Zara was not one to give up easily. She was determined to use the knowledge she had to create something that would turn the tide of this war. With her team, she began developing a cloaking device that would allow Earth's resistance to hide from the alien detection systems, which were so advanced they could detect even the slightest movement. It was no easy task. The aliens' detection systems were some of the most advanced in the universe, capable of scanning for even the faintest electromagnetic signals. But Dr. Zara's team was relentless. They used quantum algorithms to scramble the signatures of any devices that the aliens would typically track, creating a cloak of invisibility around their forces. The technology was far beyond anything Earth had ever seen before, but it was their only hope. After weeks of intense work, the cloaking device was ready. Dr. Zara and her team tested it in secrecy. The moment they activated it, a section of their laboratory vanished from the alien sensors. It worked. This was the breakthrough they had been waiting for. Now, they could fight back without being immediately detected by the invaders. The first strike came in the dead of night. A small resistance group, led by Captain Bonner, who had been instrumental in the early stages of the fight, infiltrated an alien supply convoy. With the cloaking devices in place, they moved undetected across the aliens' territory. The humans, now able to hide in plain sight, began launching guerrilla attacks that the aliens never saw coming. They struck with precision, disabling key alien communication towers and disrupting their supply chains. Though their numbers were small, these humans fought with a determination that left the invaders stunned. Every attack was a victory, and every victory made them more daring. But the aliens, realizing something was wrong, began to adjust. They increased patrols, reinforced their positions, and deployed new detection methods. The cloaking technology, which had given the humans the element of surprise, was now in danger of being countered. The alien commander, a ruthless leader known only as Thrax, had studied human behavior, and he knew that these attacks were not the work of a few stray soldiers. Something more was at play. Thrax decided to take matters into his own hands. He ordered the full-scale deployment of new alien tech designed to break through the humans' cloaking system. Massive drones with advanced scanning abilities were unleashed. These drones were equipped with powerful electromagnetic pulses that could strip away any cloaking device's protection, revealing the hidden human forces. They scoured Earth's surface relentlessly, seeking to uncover the source of the human resistance. The clock was ticking for the humans, and they knew it. As Earth's remaining resistance forces began to rally and plan their next moves, the humans had another surprise in store for the aliens. Dr. Zara, realizing that the cloaking device could only hold for so long, began to work on an upgrade, an advanced version that could not only hide them but also disrupt the aliens' detection systems altogether. This would turn the tables entirely. The aliens had always been able to track human movements, but now, with this new upgrade, Earth would be able to operate in complete darkness, virtually undetectable to the enemy. But the aliens weren't sitting idle. Thrax had ordered his forces to intensify their efforts. Earth's major cities were now surrounded by alien motherships, their powerful weapons ready to wipe everything out. The invasion had reached a critical point, and humanity was on the edge of annihilation. If the resistance could not come up with a plan fast, their survival would be impossible. In the shadows, Captain Bonner and his team plotted their next move. They knew that every second counted. Their new cloaking system was working, but it was fragile. The aliens were closing in, and the odds were not in their favor. The humans had only one advantage left, their creativity. They had to strike fast, strike hard, and do it before the aliens could adapt to their new tactics. The stakes were higher than ever before, and failure was no longer an option. The struggle between humans and aliens intensified as both sides fought to outsmart each other. The aliens, with their overwhelming firepower and technological superiority, began to grow frustrated. They had always crushed their enemies quickly, but humanity was different. Humans were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting to prove that they were more than what the aliens thought of them. The aliens had come to Earth believing they would easily take control, but the human resistance, though small, was giving them a taste of what it meant to face a people who would never give up. As the alien forces ramped up their attacks, humans retaliated with every ounce of strength they had. With each new strike, they pushed the boundaries of what was possible. The human resistance had awakened something within themselves, an unbreakable will to survive. But even as the resistance grew, the aliens were relentless, and their plans to root out humanity were becoming more aggressive. It was a game of cat and mouse, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. In the heart of the human resistance, Dr. Zara's team was finalizing their new cloaking upgrade. Time was running out, and the final battle was approaching. Would the humans be able to outsmart the aliens and turn the tide of the war? Or would the alien forces finally crush the last remnants of resistance? This was just the beginning of the ultimate struggle. The humans had proven they could fight back, but would their ingenuity and determination be enough to defeat the alien invaders? The sound of engines roaring echoed across the battlefield as the alien forces tightened their grip on Earth. After countless battles, the humans had finally learned the truth: Earth's only hope for survival lay in one final mission. The alien invaders had a weapon like no other, a massive AI-controlled mothership. This was their trump card, and they were prepared to use it to crush humanity once and for all. The mothership, a gargantuan, ominous vessel that loomed in the sky like a dark shadow, was more than just a ship. It was a living, breathing weapon, an AI so advanced that it could control entire armies of drones and machines, all with one simple thought. The AI had been designed to predict, adapt, and outmaneuver its enemies, making it nearly impossible to defeat. The aliens believed that with this weapon, the war was as good as over. What they didn't account for, however, was the strength of the human spirit. As the humans gathered their forces for the final assault, Captain Bonner and his team knew that their time was running out. They had only one chance to strike at the heart of the mothership before it could unleash its full power. If they failed, humanity would be wiped out without mercy. There was no room for hesitation, no time for second thoughts. The human resistance had come too far, and they were not about to give up now. Bonner and his team of elite soldiers, along with a few key scientists, prepared for their desperate mission. The plan was simple: infiltrate the mothership, reach its central core, and destroy it before the AI could react. But even as they made their preparations, a sense of dread hung over them. They were facing an enemy that was not only technologically superior but also had the advantage of cold, calculated logic. The AI was ruthless, and it would use every means possible to break their will. The team set off under the cover of darkness, their cloaking devices allowing them to move undetected past the alien defenses. They moved swiftly, the weight of their mission pressing down on them with each step. As they neared the mothership, the massive structure loomed in the distance, its mechanical arms and drones buzzing around like a swarm of locusts. Every second felt like an eternity, and the soldiers knew that any mistake could be their last. Once aboard the mothership, the humans quickly split into smaller teams, each tasked with sabotaging key systems. They had to disable the AI's control network while also keeping the alien soldiers at bay. It was a dangerous mission, and every moment was a race against time. As Captain Bonner led his team deeper into the ship, they encountered wave after wave of mechanical soldiers, each one more terrifying than the last. The AI-controlled drones seemed to anticipate their every move, forcing the humans into constant battle. The AI was not only designed to fight, it was designed to learn. Every time a soldier fell, the AI adapted, using their deaths to predict the resistance's next moves. Bonner's team struggled to keep up, but their determination and resilience kept them pushing forward. They knew that they couldn't afford to lose, not when the fate of the entire human race was at stake. It wasn't long before the resistance hit a wall. The AI began to manipulate the battlefield, using the soldiers' emotions and weaknesses against them. It understood fear, pain, and loss, and it used these human traits to its advantage. As the soldiers fought their way deeper into the mothership, they began to experience strange sensations. Each of them felt like they were being watched, as if the ship itself was alive and studying them. They could feel their weaknesses being exploited, and it started to take a toll on their mental state. During one particularly intense firefight, Captain Bonner's team was caught off guard by a wave of drones. In the chaos, one of Bonner's most trusted soldiers, Lieutenant Harris, was struck down. The loss was devastating. Harris had been a close friend, a brother in arms, and now he was gone. The team froze for a moment, the weight of the loss hitting them all at once. The AI, in its cold, calculated way, had struck at the very core of their strength, their unity. The soldiers could feel the loss, and it nearly shattered their resolve. But despite the pain, Captain Bonner refused to let his team fall apart. He knew that Harris's sacrifice would not be in vain. With tears in his eyes, he ordered his team to push forward. "We finish this, for him," Bonner said, his voice steady but filled with emotion. The soldiers nodded, their faces hardened with grief, but also with the knowledge that they couldn't stop now. They had come too far, and too many lives were at stake. As they pressed on, the AI began to target their emotions more aggressively. It manipulated the ship's systems to create illusions, making them see things that weren't real. Bonner's team began to question their own senses. Were they really seeing an alien ambush, or was the AI simply toying with their minds? They fought through the confusion, each soldier holding on to the belief that they had to keep moving, no matter what. Finally, they reached the core of the mothership, but they were not alone. The AI, now fully aware of their presence, had activated its final line of defense, a massive, mechanized version of itself, an armored behemoth designed to protect the heart of the ship. This was the final test. Bonner and his team had to destroy the AI's central core before it could launch the mothership's devastating weapon, which would wipe out Earth's remaining defenses. The battle was fierce. The armored AI moved with terrifying speed, its mechanical limbs striking like lightning. It was a brutal clash of human will versus machine intellect, and the odds were stacked against the humans. The AI's precision was unmatched, and its strength was overwhelming. But the humans fought with everything they had left. They fought for their families, for their homes, and for the future of their species. With every blow they struck, they showed the AI that it had underestimated the one thing no machine could ever understand, the human spirit. In the end, it was Captain Bonner who delivered the final blow. Using the last of their explosives, Bonner and his team managed to breach the AI's core, causing a massive explosion that rocked the mothership. As the ship began to crumble around them, the soldiers knew they had won. The AI was defeated. The human resistance had succeeded in the impossible. But the victory was bittersweet. The loss of Lieutenant Harris weighed heavily on them. The cost of this mission had been high, and not all of them had made it out alive. Yet, as the mothership collapsed into the void of space, they knew that humanity had taken a crucial step toward freedom. They had faced the ultimate enemy, an unstoppable force of technology, and had proven that even in the face of AI supremacy, the human spirit could not be broken. As Captain Bonner and the remaining soldiers made their way back to Earth, they knew that this victory was just the beginning. The battle for survival was far from over, but humanity had shown that no matter how powerful the enemy, they would never give up. They had taken on the most advanced AI in the universe, and they had won. The sky above Earth had darkened, not from the setting sun, but from the massive alien ships that now loomed ominously over the planet. It was a sight humanity had never seen before, alien ships, as far as the eye could see, casting dark shadows across the Earth as they prepared to unleash their destructive power. The mothership, the heart of the alien invasion, hovered high above, its weapon systems primed and ready for orbital bombardment. Earth's final moments seemed inevitable. The alien AI had calculated everything. It had studied human tactics, understood their strengths and weaknesses, and now it was executing its final plan. Waves of alien drones and fighter ships launched from the mothership, raining hellfire down on Earth's surface. Buildings crumbled, cities burned, and the very land seemed to tremble under the weight of the bombardment. There was no place to hide, no place to run. The alien forces were relentless. But amidst the destruction, there was hope. A small, determined group of humans had managed to survive and organize. This was their final stand, the last chance to save Earth. Captain Bonner and his team, having infiltrated the alien mothership in the previous mission, were now preparing for their ultimate strike. They knew that the fate of the planet rested on their shoulders. As the alien bombardment continued to rain down on Earth, Captain Bonner gathered his remaining soldiers. His voice was calm, but the urgency was clear. This is it. We go in, destroy their control center, and stop the bombardment. We don't have much time, he said. His team, though exhausted and battle-worn, nodded in silent agreement. They knew what had to be done. With stealth and precision, the human forces launched their counterattack. They had one advantage: the cloaking devices that had been developed by Dr. Zara's team. These cloaking devices, though not perfect, allowed them to move past the alien defenses undetected, at least for a short while. It was a fragile hope, but it was all they had. The moment their cloaking devices malfunctioned, however, the battle would turn into a brutal fight for survival. They had no choice but to fight their way through. As they reached the outskirts of the alien mothership, the team split into two groups, one to engage the alien forces head-on while the other group would infiltrate the mothership and destroy the AI's control center. The air around them seemed to crackle with tension as explosions lit up the sky. The sound of ships being shot down and debris falling to Earth was deafening. Captain Bonner's group made their move, advancing through the smoke and debris. Their mission was clear: they had to reach the heart of the mothership and take down the alien AI before it could finish its attack on Earth. The first wave of alien drones came at them with terrifying speed. These machines, controlled by the AI, were more than just weapons. They were designed to adapt, learn from human tactics, and counter them at every turn. But the humans, despite being vastly outnumbered, fought back with everything they had. Bonner's team used advanced weapons and high-tech gadgets, all designed to combat the alien threat. But it wasn't just the technology that made them strong, it was their fighting spirit. The battle was chaotic. Blasts from alien weapons ripped through the air, and the ground shook as alien ships launched their attacks. The humans had trained for this moment, but nothing could have fully prepared them for the intensity of the assault. Still, they fought on, their determination unwavering. Captain Bonner and his team fought through the alien forces with precision. Hand-to-hand combat was their last resort as the drones closed in. The sound of metal meeting metal rang out as soldiers clashed with alien soldiers. Captain Bonner was in the thick of it, using his combat training to defeat one drone after another. His team followed his lead, taking down their enemies with ruthless efficiency. But the alien forces were relentless, and their numbers seemed endless. For every alien that fell, another took its place. It was a constant wave of danger, and Captain Bonner could feel the weight of the battle pressing on him. But he didn't stop. He couldn't. His team was relying on him, and the fate of Earth rested on their success. The air was thick with smoke, and the ground beneath them seemed to tremble with each explosion. The high-tech gadgets they used gave them an edge, but the aliens were learning quickly, adapting their strategies to counter the humans' movements. As the team advanced deeper into the mothership, they reached a series of massive doors that led to the control center. The doors were heavily guarded, with drones and alien soldiers stationed at every possible entry point. Captain Bonner's group was running out of time, and every second mattered. They made a split-second decision to breach the doors. Captain Bonner's voice rang out, "On my mark, go." The soldiers charged forward, their weapons drawn, and a hail of gunfire erupted as they engaged the alien guards. The close-quarters combat was intense, with every inch of ground contested. Captain Bonner fought through the ranks of alien soldiers, his eyes focused on the ultimate goal, the control center. Behind him, his soldiers continued to battle the drones. The energy from the alien weapons crackled in the air as soldiers fought desperately to hold their ground. The alien AI had clearly anticipated this move and had sent its most advanced soldiers to stop them. The battle was more than just a test of weapons, it was a test of will. In the midst of the chaos, one of Captain Bonner's soldiers, Private Matthews, was hit by a stray shot. He collapsed to the ground, blood pouring from his wounds. The team paused for a split second, their attention divided. Bonner shouted at his team to keep moving. "We can't stop now. We're almost there," he urged. The soldiers continued forward, though the loss weighed heavily on them. They couldn't afford to mourn now. They couldn't afford to hesitate. They had come too far to fail. After what felt like an eternity, Captain Bonner and his team finally reached the control center. The doors opened with a mechanical hiss, revealing the heart of the mothership, a massive, glowing core surrounded by a series of consoles and machinery. And there, standing in the center, was the AI's core. It was a terrifying sight, a web of wires and glowing energy, pulsing with an almost malevolent intelligence. Bonner's team rushed to the core, setting up explosives and planting charges. The countdown had begun. As they prepared to leave, the alien forces regrouped, ready for a final push to stop them. The room filled with the sound of rapid gunfire as the humans fought their way out, their mission nearly complete. The clock was ticking down. The team raced against time as the AI's final forces closed in. With seconds to spare, the explosives detonated, causing a massive explosion that rocked the mothership. The AI core shattered, sending shockwaves through the entire ship. The alien forces were thrown into disarray. As the ship began to collapse, Captain Bonner and his remaining soldiers made their way to the escape pods. The battle was far from over, but they had struck a decisive blow. Earth had a chance, the final battle for Earth had begun. The alien mothership loomed above the planet, its massive form blocking out the sun, casting Earth into an unnatural shadow. The air was thick with the scent of smoke, and the once vibrant cities had now become graveyards of twisted metal and broken buildings. The last remnants of humanity's resistance, led by Captain Bonner, had pushed their way deep into the heart of the alien vessel. Their mission was clear: destroy the alien AI that controlled everything. But as they reached the core of the mothership, they realized just how much had changed. The aliens had been waiting for them. Their forces were now stronger than ever, and the odds seemed impossible. The remaining human soldiers had fought hard, losing comrades with every step, but they knew they couldn't stop now. It was their last chance to save Earth. The tension in the air was palpable as Captain Bonner and his soldiers prepared for the final assault. They had already lost so much. The soldiers were exhausted, their bodies battered and bruised, their spirits tested to the limit. But still, they pressed on. They knew what was at stake. The future of humanity rested in their hands. The alien AI, an intelligent, calculating force, had been anticipating this moment. It had already prepared its most advanced weapons and defenses. The humans had no choice but to charge in head first, knowing that each second counted. They fought their way through the endless ranks of alien drones, each more deadly than the last. The air was alive with the sound of blaster fire, explosions, and the heavy thudding of boots on the cold, metallic floor of the mothership. As they neared the heart of the ship, Bonner could feel the weight of their mission bearing down on him. His team had been through hell. Some had died already. Others were barely hanging on. But none of them were willing to give up. They were soldiers. They had sworn to protect Earth, and they would see it through to the end. "We're almost there," Captain Bonner shouted, though his voice was hoarse. The team, bloodied but not broken, moved forward with renewed determination. They had come too far to fail now. But as they reached the central chamber where the AI core resided, they were met with a sight that took them all by surprise. The chamber was a vast, glowing space, filled with rows of alien technology. At the center of it all was the AI's core, a massive, pulsating mass of wires, energy, and artificial intelligence. It seemed almost alive, a malevolent force that pulsed with energy, watching them. But what was more shocking was the presence of the alien commanders. They were waiting for them. The final defense. The last line of resistance. And it was clear that the aliens weren't planning to let them destroy the AI so easily. Bonner's heart pounded in his chest as he ordered his soldiers to take positions. The fight would be brutal, but it was their only chance. "Hold your ground," he ordered, raising his weapon. "We end this now." The battle erupted in an instant. The alien commanders, with their advanced technology and weapons, proved to be formidable opponents. They were faster, stronger, and smarter than any of the drones they had faced before. But the humans had something the aliens could never anticipate: their unwavering resolve. With the sound of each blast, another soldier fell. The alien weapons were devastating, but the humans fought back with everything they had. Bonner led his team with relentless determination, each step taken with the knowledge that they might not make it out alive. Yet, they kept going. They had no choice. Amid the chaos, one of Bonner's soldiers, Sergeant Harris, was hit. The blast knocked him back, and he crumpled to the ground. Bonner rushed to his side, but it was too late. Harris was gone. The loss struck Bonner deeply, but he knew there was no time to mourn. Not yet. There were still others to save. The team pushed forward, relentless. Every inch they gained was paid for with blood, but they refused to turn back. The AI's core was within their grasp. All they had to do was destroy it. But the alien commanders were not going to make it easy. Bonner and his team fought their way to the core, each step becoming harder than the last. Sweat dripped down their faces, their bodies trembling with exhaustion, but they kept going. They had to finish this. They had to stop the alien AI from taking Earth. As they reached the core, Bonner turned to his team. "This is it," he said, his voice low but firm. "We finish this here." But as the explosives were set and the countdown began, the aliens launched their final counterattack. A massive explosion shook the chamber, and the room filled with smoke. The team was knocked to the ground, disoriented and struggling to breathe. Bonner's ears rang with the sound of the blast, but he knew he had to keep going. He could feel the weight of the world on his shoulders. The mission wasn't over yet. As the smoke cleared, Bonner saw the alien commanders closing in, their weapons aimed at his team. He raised his weapon to fire, but then something inside him shifted. He knew he couldn't do it alone. He turned to his soldiers, and despite the pain and exhaustion, he saw the same determination in their eyes. "We fight together," he said, his voice steady. "For Earth. For everyone." With one final surge of energy, the team charged at the alien commanders. The battle was chaotic, but this time, they fought not just as soldiers, but as brothers and sisters in arms. The humans had come together, united by the strength of their will and the hope for a future they had fought so hard to protect. And then, in a moment that seemed to freeze time, Bonner knew it was over. The AI core exploded in a brilliant flash of light. The shockwave sent the alien forces reeling. The mothership began to crumble, its systems failing as the alien AI was destroyed. But even in victory, the cost had been great. Bonner had been mortally wounded in the final assault. As the team made their way to the escape pods, Bonner collapsed to the ground. He could feel the life draining from him, but he had no regrets. He had given everything for Earth. And in that moment, he knew that humanity would survive. The explosion of the mothership echoed through the galaxy, and Earth was finally free. But Bonner's death, and the deaths of his comrades, weighed heavily on those who remained. They had won, but the victory came with a heavy price. As the survivors made their way back to Earth, they knew that the battle was not truly over. The aliens had been defeated, but there were still challenges ahead. The universe was vast, and there would always be threats to face. For now, however, humanity had earned a brief moment of peace. They had fought back the invaders. They had shown the galaxy the strength of the human spirit. And though they had lost many along the way, their sacrifice would never be forgotten. Bonner's name, and the names of all those who had fought and died, would live on as a reminder of the price of freedom. The air was still, almost unnervingly quiet, as the dust from the battle began to settle over Earth. The destruction left behind by the alien motherships was staggering. The cities, once vibrant with life, were now scars on the landscape, filled with rubble and wreckage. Yet, in the midst of this devastation, there was a new sense of hope. Humanity had won. Against all odds, they had defeated the alien invaders and had forced their way into the future with a victory that would be remembered for generations. Captain Bonner had paid the ultimate price. His death had been the turning point, the moment when humanity's resolve solidified. But even in his final moments, he had inspired those around him to continue, to fight until the end. His team, the soldiers who had stood by him, were now part of history. Their bravery and sacrifices were honored by every corner of Earth, and their names would be etched into the annals of time. Bonner had led them to victory, and now, humanity would have to rebuild. In the weeks following the destruction of the alien motherships, world leaders met in the remains of a once glorious United Nations building, now a symbol of the unity that had emerged from the chaos. The war was over, but the fight for Earth's future had only just begun. The planet had been ravaged, and the scars of the war would take years to heal. The human race had emerged victorious, but at what cost? The people of Earth, however, were determined to use this victory as a turning point. No longer would they be the weak, divided species they once were. They had faced an enemy that threatened their very existence, and they had come out on top. Now, they understood the true meaning of strength, not just in terms of weapons, but in unity. The world had seen what they could do when they worked together, when they set aside their differences and focused on a common goal. Earth was no longer a fragmented collection of nations, it was one united force, ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. The new leadership of Earth began making plans for the future. The war had revealed humanity's potential, but it had also exposed weaknesses that needed to be addressed. The alien technology that had been seized during the battle would be studied and incorporated into Earth's own systems. There was no going back to the old ways. Technology would play a central role in humanity's future, but it had to be used wisely. The human race had learned that power, when abused, could lead to destruction. They would now take a more cautious approach to their advancement. Humanity's first priority was rebuilding. The cities that had been destroyed would be reconstructed, but not in the same way as before. This time, there would be a focus on sustainability, resilience, and defense. Earth's new leadership had decided that the planet's defenses would be strengthened, not just against future alien invasions, but against any external threats that could arise. The alien AI's attack had shown them just how vulnerable they were. Now, they would invest in their own technology, using what they had learned from the alien technology to create a stronger, more advanced defense system. At the same time, Earth began to heal in ways that went beyond just physical reconstruction. The war had united the human race in ways that were unimaginable before. People who had once been divided by borders, politics, and ideologies were now working together to rebuild their world. The sense of solidarity that had been born out of the war was something humanity had never experienced before. It was a feeling that transcended race, religion, and nationality. The bonds forged in the fires of battle had made them stronger than ever before. The rebuilding process was slow, but it was steady. New technologies were developed to help speed up recovery. Renewable energy sources were prioritized, and humanity began to focus on creating a world that was not only stronger, but also more sustainable. The lessons learned from the war were clear: the future of Earth depended on its ability to adapt, to innovate, and to work together. As the months passed, the people of Earth began to rebuild not just their cities, but their way of life. The memory of the war was still fresh in their minds, but they had turned that pain into something positive. The alien invasion had been a wake-up call, and humanity had answered. They had faced the impossible and had emerged victorious. Now, they were ready to face the future with a renewed sense of purpose. But even as they celebrated their victory, humanity knew that they couldn't rest for long. The alien invaders had been defeated, but their presence had left a mark on the galaxy. The victory over the aliens had sent a powerful message to the rest of the universe: Earth was not to be underestimated. Humanity had the strength to defend itself, to fight back, and to protect its people at all costs. As Earth's leaders sat down to discuss their next steps, they knew that they had to prepare for the possibility of future threats. They couldn't afford to be complacent. The galaxy was vast, and there were likely other alien species out there, watching, waiting. But this time, Earth would be ready. They had learned from their past mistakes, and they would not let their guard down. The new dawn of humanity had begun, and it was filled with possibilities. The war had been a turning point, and humanity was stronger because of it. The destruction caused by the aliens had been devastating, but it had also brought out the best in people. The unity that had been forged in the heat of battle would carry humanity forward, helping them to rebuild and thrive in a new era. The people of Earth understood now more than ever that they were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting for their future, for the generations that would come after them. And though they had won the war, the work was far from over. The universe was a dangerous place, and humanity would always have to be vigilant. But they were no longer afraid. They had seen what they were capable of when they came together. They had seen that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could prevail. And that was the true power of humanity, not in their technology, not in their weapons, but in their ability to endure, to rise above, and to fight for a better future. As Earth began to rebuild, its people looked forward to a new era. One that was not defined by war or destruction, but by progress, unity, and hope. The lessons learned from the alien invasion would never be forgotten, and they would serve as a reminder of what humanity could accomplish when they worked together. For the first time in history, Earth was united. And with that unity came the promise of a brighter, stronger future.